Oh yeah, sexy biscuits. Nice.
Longboard Bros 1975. A YouTuber's on the rise. Reviewing games late at night and sometimes friends. But Longboard Bros 1975.
Hey YouTube, Lawnboys Post 1975, and welcome to a Wednesday vlog. A Wednesday collection video, but it's still got vlogging in it, if you know what I mean. I've been off work for a week, so I just want to talk about the elephant in the room, which is that god-awful light, because it's sunny. I've been off work for a week because it's my birthday, and the weather, the birthday gods blessed me with good weather. And by good, I mean crap, grey skies, cold weather, rain, my favourite kind of weather. So I'm doing my Wednesday vlog in the morning like I normally do, and there's that. There's that, and it's a pisser, hence the fact that I have that Dennis the Menace thing there, kind of blocking off, get my hands on it, the worst of it. Anyway, yes, Sega Saturn collection video number 5, although between you and me I think it might be number 4, because when I went back to make sure I wasn't going to step or cross some of the games over into this video, I realised that somewhere along the lines I missed one and went from, I don't know, 2 to 4? I don't know, blame my Bristolian education. Anyway, 3 months since I've done the last of these. I have been buying games here and there, you know, since, I thought I lost one then, since, I started collecting for my Saturn again, since I fixed my Saturn, I should say. Now, you're probably saying, well, why aren't you going hell-bent for leather for collecting for it? When you got a lot of systems like me and you like to play, a lot of them in Tipplin or, all the various ponds, if you will. No idea where that came from. I don't generally go batshit crazy collecting for any specific system. It's a nice fun journey to be relaxed along the way. If I see something, preferably in the wild for my Saturn, that's where I buy it. That's not too often. If there's something that suddenly pops in there and I think, oh, I really, really want that, I have nostalgia for it, or, never got to play it as a kid, whether it's on my PlayStation or my brother's Saturn, because obviously he was the one who had the Saturn as a kid, then I might jump onto Amazon or eBay to try and find it. Particularly that's where the rather small but quite impressive collection of Japanese games are coming from, because dependent upon the title, it's so much cheaper to buy Japanese Saturn games. And alright, so my Saturn's not modded as 60Hz, I've only got an Action Replay card, but it's still better than dropping stupid money on a game that you really, 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 really want. And also, obviously, I'm not going for a full collection. So we have an interesting batch in this video. 2 are absolutely fantastic. I would say 2 are absolutely fantastic. 1 is a no-brainer and 2 are absolute stinkers. But we'll explain that when I get into it. The reason I buy the stinkers is, as I said, I may have a massive amount of nostalgia for it. So we'll get to stinker number 1, and that would be Independence Day, the game. Now, yeah, why would you put such a shit game in one of the lovely hardcore bulletproof cases? I swear, wear this into a war zone and it will deflect bullets. I mean, getting into it is an absolute bastard. But yeah, so why would I buy this? Look at it, it's an absolute minty fresh condition. He says, and he just dropped the manual, it was $6.99 in a retro shop I found in Western MT Games, which I did a tour video of a while ago. So maybe I paid over the odds, but it was in the wild. The reason I like it is, there's no mistake, it's terrible. It's a complete, I played it on the PlayStation back in the day. I kept renting it. I never owned it. I kept renting it and renting it and renting it from Blockbuster. Down the road from where I lived at the time. And yeah, I mean, I love the movie, and it's a complete waste of the license. Why would you spend all that? Because licenses wouldn't have been cheap at this point like they were on the Spectrum. Why would you spend all that money on this to do what is basically the most mediocre flight? I just realised it's got 2-player. Never noticed that flight game ever. Fly around, shooting alien ships, avoiding the worst of it, trying to survive while taking out these ports on the bottom of a mothership that's always above you to take out the generator for the shields before taking out the main weapon and killing it, to a very strict time limit, while all the time you're enclosed in a cut-off area. So, linear is basically what it is, and it's terrible. But I have such nostalgia for it because I kept renting it again and again and again, because I was determined to beat it. I was absolutely determined to beat it, and I never quite got there. So when I saw it, I've got to stop playing with my hat when I'm in videos. When I saw this, I thought, oh look, there's a level with the Empire State Building. Empire State Building, Statue of Liberty, because they look quite similar. I thought, I'm having that, just for old time's sake. Got to see if I can finally beat it. And that's what I say, that sometimes you can. You know, there's lots of snobs out there, but sometimes you can. I am one sometimes. Have a massive amount of enjoyment and be compelled to play the crap out of a game, despite the fact that you're not being very good. Now, again, into that camp would be this one. And this was, I think, $1.99 on Amazon. I think I paid more for shipping than I did for the game. But when I saw it, I thought, I'm having it. Battle Arena Toshinden remix on the Sega Saturn. It came out a bit later, didn't it, on the Saturn? It was a launch title on the PlayStation. I had it on my Japanese PlayStation. Again, nostalgia, you see. I got Cyber Sled for my Japanese PlayStation. Boxed in with it when I bought it out the back of the newspaper like a year before the UK one came out. Then over the road where I worked down the time in St. George, there was an import shop that had Saturn, PlayStation, Neo Geo CD, and they sold PlayStation games for 75 quid. I dropped 75 quid on Battle Arena Toshinden on the PlayStation. Now, bearing in mind, don't think about the game now, think about it then. It was, alright, we know then it still didn't fight as good as Virtua Fighter, but we know it was a groundbreaker, a game changer. Graphically stunning, the roll mechanic. I loved it. Me and my mates caned the crap out of it. Sure, it's not aged. Well, it's aged unbelievably badly, like quite a lot of 3D games do from that time period. But there's no denying that me and my mates loved the shit out of it, and quite a lot of people loved the shit out of it. So when I saw this, I thought, I have no interest in picking it up again on my PlayStation, because, you know, it kind of did the whole Japanese thing or whatever. But when I saw it on the Saturn, I thought, well, it's such a level of nostalgia, and I've played the crap out of it so far. Such a level of nostalgia I have for it that I thought I got to get it. Plus, the remix means it's got like a different intro, story mode. So I've only dabbled in it with, you know, like hand-drawn cartoon graphics and stuff like that, and terrible, terrible, terrible dialogue, which you would expect. So I thought, do you know what? I'll give that a go. I'll give that a go. You know, I loved it on the PlayStation. So this is what I mean about this collection being sort of all odds and sods and whatever tickles my fancy at the time. I thought, I'll have a go at that on the Saturn. Obviously, well, it was only $1.99 in the case. It's fuck. Seriously, Sega. I know they say this every video, but what were you thinking of? And these bits here always break as well in no manual. But hey, £2, even for a stinker. Can't say no. Now, this sort of stuff gets cool. I bought this for $4.99 downtown in Pink Planet. Couple of days ago. Most of you who follow me on Facebook will have seen most of these before. Not all of them, but most of them. But as I like to say, because I do know that my Facebook and my YouTube communities are different peoples and different camps. It's different forms of, you know, social media for different individuals. Not everyone crosses over into both platforms. So, you know, that's why, and also the reason I like to do these videos, were even though sometimes I've even done gameplays of games before I got round to doing the collection video, is much like my Sega Mega Drive collection video, it's kind of a catalogue for me that I can look back upon my channel in years to come and see the sequence or the order or the reason I collected these games for, if that makes sense. Anyway, this was downtown in Pink Planet, and they had a whole bunch of them. It's a FIFA game. There's your giveaway. A whole bunch of them, you know, stacked on top of each other, and they're all in the slim, bulletproof cases like that one over there, you know, Independence Day. And this was in a big whopping great chomper of a case like that, like a hard VHS case. And I thought, I'm having that because it's FIFA 98, The Road to the World Cup, which is pretty much my favourite FIFA football game ever. Plus, I have fond memories of this World Cup, even though, you know, we stunk at it. But yeah, so I thought, I'm having that because I had it on the PlayStation. I still got it on the PlayStation, and I absolutely loved it. Old football games do not age well. This one does, as do some of the FIFAs, a few more on like PlayStation 2 Plus. But aged well on this because of the gameplay mechanics, and this is one of them. So yeah, it was complete. Comes with a manual, comes with a disc. I never actually noticed this until later on, when I thought, I can't read the back. I know there should be like a European chunk of text on there, but I can't read any of the back. This was the World Cup where Michael Owen was like a ninja, and David Beckham became like, they made it, you know, well, he became hated for what he did in the Argentinian game, even though the bloke went over like, you know, a cardboard cutout. But yeah, Estrosioni, it's Italian. It's Italian. So it's all in one language for once, because if you buy a manual now, or get a manual now back then, because you don't get them now, you'd have a whole chunk of a telephone book in the UK. But this is all in one language, which is Italian, and it's that thick. So, and I made the joke on Facebook, and I'm gonna make it again. One can only assume, since it's the Italian version, right, that 1/3 of the manual is instructions on how to dive or simulation. And I'm saying that as a joke, but it's true, and you all know it is. Anyway, yeah, so FIFA Road to the World Cup, pick that up in the wild. You can definitely expect, we can expect a gameplay of all of these at some point, but definitely expect a gameplay of this one, because my favourite FIFA game from back in the day. You know, when EA Sports weren't such, well, EA General weren't such just absolute bastards. Excuse me. Now, the next one, quite surprised how cheap this was. I thought it would be more sought after than it is. But yeah, this was $5.99 on Amazon. I think I plumped to, I love Amazon, plumped £2 for postage, and I got Duke Nukem 3D on a Sega Saturn. Obviously the Sega Saturn, that's a Sega Saturn video. And yeah, 3D Realms 18. Oh, how easily offended we were then. And that's before the PC police went batshit crazy like they did now. Don't even get me started on what they've done to Call of Duty WW2, you bastards, you spineless, scary little girls. Yeah, so basically, we all know Duke Nukem, got on the PlayStation, got a gameplay of it, loved it on the PC originally back in the day, you know, the Duke will never be broken by the PC police. And yeah, loved it on the PlayStation when I finally got that, and it just is what it is, a first-person shooter with that. I'm sure I'm preaching to the wild, you know, to the known, the fact, the given, the crowd, that everyone knows Duke Nukem, great, you know, sense of humour, first person, tongue-in-cheek, politically incorrect, aliens invade the planet, you go after them, kinds of crazy, you know, weapons and shit like that. You can look up, you can look down. What is interesting about this one, and why did I get it, even though I've got it on the PlayStation? It's essentially a different game. Programming for the Saturn with its two processors was kind of difficult and tricky. So as far as I can tell, and I had a little bit of look into it when I saw Guru Larry leave a comment on my Facebook page saying he thinks it's got the, oh, he said it's got the exhumed game engine, because when you play it, it looks the part, but in places you like, it feels more like a tribute than a close conversion of the game. So I had a look into it, and what they did was they did use a different game engine, and cuts were made. Some of the, well, a lot of the samples removed, a lot of the secret, a lot of the secrets in general were removed. Some of the scenes, like with posters and things like that, were vastly shrunk down and stuff like that. Don't know why I went like that. And yeah, so it's a different game engine, but for all the sacrifices made, it runs at a solid frame rate. Really, pretty much never ever dips, and for that reason alone, it's considered one of the best home console ports of Duke Nukem. The only one I could say I haven't played after this would be on the N64, which would be interesting. But yeah, so while it looks different and, you know, plays a little bit different because it is running on a different game engine, it is Duke Nukem. If you want to see what I mean, type it in side by side on YouTube and watch some videos. They are up there. That's when you will massively notice the difference. When you're playing it, you just think, if you played it a lot, sure that was there, or this was something else, or something like that. But yeah, so I thought for that price I'm having that. It's Duke Nukem, and when I found out it is different, it looks great, by the way, it really does look great. Found out that it was different to the PlayStation version and all those reasons, I thought, I'm having that. I'm definitely having this next one, which is why I bought it. I've already done 2 gameplays off it, so you can probably tell what it is if you follow me on, well, of course you do if you're watching this. Never mind, I'm having a brain dead moment. I couldn't believe how cheap this was. Like the Japanese one, again off Amazon. I really don't go like looking too difficult or deeply for Japanese imports, but I didn't know this was a thing until I saw a video on the North American version, and that's the Street Fighter collection. Didn't know this was, love these cases. Why didn't we go through with these cases in England, Sega? Seriously, I mean, look at the age of this and how wet it's doing to this sack of sorry shit. Oh, and he broke the disc again. Yeah, anyway, didn't know this was a thing. North American version goes for like, I don't know, $100. Don't quote me on that. Big money. Obviously, this is going to be 50 hertz on my Saturn, but meh, who cares? So what is it? It's Super Street Fighter 2, the new Challengers, which is my favourite version of Street Fighter ever. My favourite version until I played this was on the 3DO, and I might have to do a comparison video because this, well, as you would expect, is better, although that is a shit-hot version. Then you got Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo X, which is that version of the game with all the turbo, you know, upgrades in, and I believe the Rage Bar, or the Power Bar, or the Max Bar. And then this is the odd one, you get Street Fighter 02 Dash, which in the US is Street Fighter Alpha 2 Gold, and in Europe it's Street Fighter Alpha 2 Prime, which is basically a port of a machine that was only released in Japan, which was like a new improved version of the Alpha 2 cabinet, where people have additional moves and stuff like that, tweaks were here and there, improved graphics, animations, and Cammy is unlockable in it, but apparently she looks like she does in, again, don't quote me on this, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. So yeah, tenner, absolutely fantastic condition. It's got the manual in this is just, it's a piece of art. Look at it. Oh, it's even got all the little nubbins, like the insert cards, and the bit that would be on the spine in the original cellophane. Anyway, yeah, 2 discs, Street Fighter 2 Turbo and Street Fighter 2, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo and Super Street Fighter 2 on one disc, and then Alpha is on the other. Now, weird collection, I've looked into it. There was a second collection on the PlayStation which had other games, which I can't think for the life of me what they are, because if you do think about the games on this for Volume 1 collection, they do seem a bit of a mixed bag. But yeah, there was no second collection that I can tell on the Sega Saturn. I'm not sure, but this in itself, for a tenner, buy it. Honestly, buy it. It's absolutely fantastic. Even if you're going for a full PAL collection, do this just simply till you find one, you know, to fit in, you know, with the normality of your collection that's at a reasonable price. Because honestly, for a tenner, oh, I shat my pants with goodness. Anyway, it's been a while, and it probably will be a great while more before you see another one of these, because again, I'm in no hurry, although you will see gameplays of these, excuse me, before you probably, oh, hang on there, camera, look at you, you cheeky little bastard, making a bid for escape. You will probably see gameplays of these before you see another one of these. I've lost my thread because of you, camera. Anyway, thank you, sorry for the lighting, and thank you very much for watching. I don't know where I'm looking now, and I'll see you later.